What's up YouTube, Cristo here. Got a big review for you, something I've been wanting to do for a while. This is also my first women's fragrance review. I've got Cristalle from Chanel, the EDT. There is an EDP version with the same name, but they are quite different. I'll get to that in a minute. But first of all, this was created in 1974 by Henri Robert, who created several other classic Chanel fragrances. And Cristalle is definitely one of the lesser known Chanels. Obviously there's people out there that wear it, but compared to how hugely iconic many other fragrances are from the house, this is definitely one of the more overlooked ones. Listing, this is listed as a floral chypre, which I don't know, I don't really see that much. To me, I think this would be better labeled as a citrus aromatic perhaps. And you'll see here in the notes, in the top we've got lemon and bergamot, in the mid we've got rosewood and hyacinth, in the base oak moss and vetiver. Now, to me the most predominant note is the oak moss. I get oak moss for almost the entire length of the fragrance. Other than the oak moss, I do get a lot of citrus in the opening, especially the bergamot. Very green, very crisp bergamot, very nice, really enjoy it. And that is why I think it might perhaps better be labeled as a citrus aromatic, because the florals, which are there, I don't find to be that strong. So yeah, I don't really see the floral thing. I can see it maybe putting some people off, especially the men. Rosewood though, I don't know, I've been looking for the rosewood. I've been really looking for the rosewood in this for the last few days, and I really can't find it. The vetiver, it is there, not as strong as the oak moss though, but they both can give a similar effect, but I do find the oak moss to be the most predominant in here. Bottle sizes, 2 bottle sizes for this one. We've got a 60 ml 2 ounce and a 100 ml 3.4 ounce. Prices for this, I took prices from the Chanel site, $75 for 60 ml and $105 for 100 ml. Chanel's are really hard to find discounted, and they often do sell for similar and even higher prices from online shops. So if you're trying to look for most Chanels, especially the older ones, usually the best place to find them is actually online from the Chanel store, if you don't happen to live near a Chanel boutique, which a lot of us don't. You can find them around for a bit cheaper than retail, but it's not that easy. So I would say perhaps, you know, just spend a little time and do research, but the Chanel site is pretty standard prices. Okay, so the EDT and the EDP, what's the difference? Well, the EDP is much later. It wasn't made until 1993, nearly 20 years later, and to me it was ruined by some sweet fruity notes in the opening. The mid and the base are, as far as I can tell, the same, but it is as well heavier and stronger. I think it kind of deviates from what this was meant to be, and I'm not really a big fan of the EDP, and I do not find it to be nearly as unisex as this one here. So we're going to look at the opening and the dry down. I got the dry down over here as usual, so let's spray this, and yeah, right off the bat I get a lot of citrus, especially the bergamot. I really like bergamot, and this is a really fantastic bergamot note. It's really green and crisp and fresh. Okay, so the dry down, there is a bit of floral in there, not that much. Don't worry fellas, there's not too much florals in here. I know a lot of women don't like florals as well. It is a bit of a stereotype, of course. I do get oak moss and a bit of vetiver, and that's kind of the predominant note for the predominant notes for most of the fragrance. Unfortunately, the citrus nearly disappears. But the thing is, the opening of this is great, but the mid and the base are quite nice as well. I find them, the mid and the base, quite flow together here. I don't really find much difference in the 3 stages. It's more 2 stages to me. So, what does this make me think of? Well, it makes me think of spring in a bottle. It's fresh, it's green, it's earthy, it's natural, it's outdoorsy. This makes me think of a green budding forest just after a spring shower. I've heard this compared to a scent by Issey Miyake, and I got to try it a few days ago, and I definitely will admit there are similarities, but Cristalle is far and away a better fragrance. It's more refined, it's more well made. A scent is much more harsh and rough smelling, and they do have a few notes in common, but they are quite different, honestly. Now, the big ones here for me, longevity and projection. Well, longevity for this, yeah, unfortunately, it's about average or less. It's the kind of thing that I can't really fault a fresh, natural fragrance for being a bit lacking in, though. I get about 4 to 6 hours. 6 hours is kind of pushing it, though, but I have had it last that long. I would say average about 4 hours, though. Projection, again, kind of the same thing. Fresh green scents aren't that well known for projecting a lot, okay? So don't expect this to be a bomb or anything. It is about average or a little less than average to me, though. Occasion, where would you wear this? Well, I think this is a pretty versatile scent. I think this would work well for casual, smart casual, or work. Perhaps not for formal outings or first dates, posh dinners, things like that. I think this would make a great office scent. It's not strong, it's not offensive. I think this is quite pleasing to the male and female nose. Season, well, I already mentioned it. Without a doubt, this is springtime for sure. I think this would work really well in the summer also, but the green earthiness definitely makes me think more of springtime. Age, now this is where this scores a lot of points to me. I find the age to be quite a wide spread here. I could see this being late 20s to 50 plus. Under the late 20s, I don't know. I don't really see many, early 20s or late teens being into this, being into the kind of earthy, oak mossy kind of thing. I usually associate that with a little more mature taste. I totally would wear this. Someone my age, I could see early 30s, even up to my mother's age or older. I could see a very wide age range here. Now, gender. This is marketed as a women's fragrance, but I definitely see this as being unisex, without a doubt. I think male and female could wear this and enjoy it on the opposite sex. It has really typical male and female aspects, florals for women and oak moss, vetiver for men, and I think they clash really, really well. I can actually see women finding this to be too masculine, if anything, but on that note, I definitely see this being a unisex. Now, is this Chanel quality? Is this worth Chanel prices? Yes, definitely. In my eyes, this is a fantastic Chanel fragrance, especially compared to the more modern women's fragrances from Chanel. I'm not a big fan of them. This isn't as complex or, no, I shouldn't say well made. This isn't as complex or transitional as your classic Chanel's for women, but I think this is very well made, it's very timeless, and it is not dated at all for something that is nearly 40 years old. So, positive. What's positive about this? Well, big one to me, it's not overdone. A lot of fragrances for women from the Chanel house are very, very popular. This one is still, it's almost 40 years old. It's probably not going to explode, so this one is a pretty safe bet if you want to wear something a little different. It's very well made. If you're into fresh, earthy, green fragrances, you really need to try this. Very natural smelling. And I think as well, this would definitely appease male and female fans who are into green, earthy fragrances. What's negative about this? Well, it is a bit pricey, and it's not quite as easy to find as other Chanels for women, especially the newer fragrances. It may be a bit light, soft, and not as complex as other Chanels as people would like, and yes, I do find this to be transparent. But that's the thing, you know, to me, complexity and transparency isn't always a negative thing, it just depends on your taste. Now, who am I going to recommend this to? I'm going to recommend this to male and female lovers of earthy, green, citrus, oak mossy fragrances. If you're into those kind of things, you really need to check this out regardless of gender. Also, I definitely have to recommend this one to anyone who likes Chanel but hasn't tried it or perhaps doesn't own it yet, and as well, collectors really need to have this. It is a fantastic timeless fragrance. This definitely opened my eyes to the classic side of Chanel for women. Before that, I was a bit dismissive. I didn't really have any interest in them, and I picked this up for my wife initially, and I think I actually wear it more than she does, and she likes it a lot as well. So there you go, Cristalle from Cristalle EDT. Fantastic fragrance marketed for women, but total unisex in my eyes. So I'd like to hear from you guys. I want to hear a little bit of feedback. There's not really much buzz about Cristalle. What do you think of it? Let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody.